Use the most effective student-proven techniques to learning the concepts and practicing correctly throughout the week. So there are 3 good habits that students who earn A's in my Math 110 have. And I've seen it over the years and semester and semester and semester. And I'm going to talk about those. I do already have that in a video, but I'm going to make sure that you all get it. So none of these habits involve a student going straight to the MyLab homework before they've even learned the concept first. And this is just one of those very bad habits to break. It's going to be one of the most common habits to break, because students will often tell me, well, yeah, I just go to the MyLab and I just try to figure it out, right? Or they search online for, the question or picture of the question so they can find the answer. None of those really, really help, especially moving through this next unit when your test will be proctored by a live person. So you won't have that luxury of having notes or apps or anything else around when you're taking your test, all right? So if you want to improve your level of problem solving and retain your understanding, you must change how you use our weekly resources to learn. And so let's just kind of talk about that. So just starting with this. And this is from, if you go back to my About This course, I have the Math 110 Best Practices for Success in the course. This document here lists the top strategies that over the years I would ask students, how did you do well in the course? What did you do? What advice would you give? And I stopped after a while because people would always say the same things. So I'm going to talk about the 3 top strategies. And I call them strategies, but they're really habits that I see A students use or have and that make them successful, allow them to be successful in the course. And so the first, of course, is something that a lot of students are not doing, but that is using the print option in MyLab. So here's how that habit works. So when you open your homework and you click on any question, there's always going to be a gear icon up here, right here. It's the settings icon. When you click on it, click print, select print homework assignment, and then print, you will find that all the questions from that assignment will shrink into a document. Students will print this document out. When they print this document, what they end up doing with it is they take the document and they're not just printing just to print paper, right? They take the document, for example, I'll just create kind of a fake way of writing on a document. I'll pretend like this is my paper here. Okay, like that. So when they print out the document, what this allows them to do is to take that printed version and record notes on the question, write the steps that they use to solve that question, or any additional ideas in order to solve that question correctly. And what they've done is they're creating a resource guide for themselves, right? They're writing in maybe a definition that they needed to know for that particular question, so that when they look back at those sheets or that 2 or 3 pages, everything's organized. The question's already typed out perfectly. The answer choices are typed out perfectly. And they input their written notes, steps, and definitions so that they have the information that they need, and then they use that as they work through their MyLab. And they're not in a position where they're just learning something for 5 minutes, answering a question, and then it's gone after 30 minutes. They can't remember how to solve that question. So this is the top strategy. The next strategy is back in MyLab. Once a student has answered a question, and I'm going to use this one, but I probably shouldn't, since it's just a definition. But once a student has answered a question correctly, then what that student will do is not just go to the next question, but click similar question option, try another question without using the question help, right? So that they can see if they can answer the question without prompting, without the question help, or using some math app to give them the answer. That's how students sharpen their problem solving. Because again, when you practice a skill, many times, that's when you remember the skill for a long time. That's when you improve your problem solving. And so doing the questions over, especially after you answer them correctly, is the top 2, right? That's the second out of the 3 great habits that my A students or students who made A's in the class have, okay? And then we have that third habit. And again, I am talking about weekly, right? Weekly habits. The third habit is the student does not wait until the end of the week in order to do their work. They're not weekend students where they wait and give themselves right before the day before assignments due, or one day, or just work on their coursework in 2 days. They spread it out throughout the week. They're using 4 days throughout the week to work on their assignment, even if there are only 10 questions to complete. They're spending 4 days, right? So think about it. Spread it out over 4 days, maybe 40-minute sessions each day, each of the 4 days. So 40 minutes, 40 minutes, 40 minutes, 40 minutes. What that does is that connection each day will allow them to remember what they're doing, build on the connections they've made when they've learned how to solve the questions, allow them to practice the questions again. If they completed the 10 questions on day 2, then that gives them day 3 to do the questions again, day 4 to practice some more and perhaps get ahead. And so that is one of the best strategies that I've found that students apply, and it's just a good habit. So the first good habit is the print option. We're creating a print option, printing out their assignments so that they're building material and have an actual folder. So they're building resource material for themselves, and they have great note taking using those printouts. The second is using the similar question option to practice the questions over and over, trying to get to the point where they can answer the questions without the question help or using some math app. And then the third great habit is not being a weekend student or 1 or 2 day student, math student, but spreading out their problem solving and practicing over 4 days throughout the week. So this will definitely make a difference and increase your level of problem solving and help you to become a better test taker when our next test week comes around. All right, so go to the next 4 things you must do to improve your grade and watch the next video.